So we're gonna have to move on to our deer. Now if you don't want to do the deer, if you'd rather do a silhouette of something else like a wolf, that'd be cool. You could do a wolf, you could put a little moon up here or something, but we're gonna do the deer. If you're a good artist and you can sketch your deer in without any issues, that's cool. You can do that. That's what I'm gonna do. If you're not comfortable doing that, you can get a stencil. That works just fine too. You just put the stencil up and fill it in with white paint, because this is just going to be straight white for the deer. Straight white. Now if you want to sketch it in, I suggest using charcoal. You can use a pencil if you're feeling brave, but a lot of times if you use just a straight regular pencil that you use for schoolwork, it's going to leave a mark on the canvas. So if you make a mistake, you can't erase it, really. It's there. For the charcoal, you can wipe it off. All right, now we got a plan where we're going to put our silhouette. Now, I'm going to have it so his feet are kind of going behind or right on this border right here. And he's just going to be standing looking at the viewer here. So we want him kind of centered in here. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch him in. He doesn't need to be huge. I mean, if you make him too big, it's going to really ruin the effect of depth, because if you make him really big, you're going to go, okay, he's in the background, but he's huge and these trees must be really tiny. So you don't want him to be real big. It's just a little... just a little guy. And it's just a silhouette. We don't need a lot of details. We just basically need a body and legs and antlers. I put his leg too far out. Now see, the nice thing about charcoal, if I had painted that on, I would be stuck with that. The charcoal, you can kind of wipe it away. Now be sure to use a dry towel when you do this, because if you use a wet towel, it kind of pushes that charcoal right into the paint. All right. I know it looks really weird right there, but that's the nice thing about the charcoal, is you can see what it looks like as you go. And then once you go and start filling things in, I don't like his neck's a little too long, I think. We want a deer, not a giraffe. I don't know, maybe you want a giraffe. That would be really weird. Just give him his ears. Dumbo ears. Another thing too, when you're wiping off the charcoal, you don't always have to wipe it off right away, because you can go through and wipe it off after the paint has dried too. All right. Now you can put his antlers in. Now if you want him to be like a red stag or something, their antlers are a lot more, they almost look like tree branches in a way. They're a lot more branching than whitetail antlers. The whitetail antlers are more like more basket-like. I tend to do whitetail stuff because that's what we have here. We don't have red stags. There, just got some antlers. Got our basic deer shape in. Now, if you are having a really hard time with that, you can pause and just focus on that and work on that for a little bit. If you've got it in, or if you've got your stencil ready and you're ready to start filling it in, all you gotta do is get your detail brush. All right, we'll go back to this white. Still got white on my paint, or on my plate here. All right, we'll just start. I think I do want the longer neck on this guy. He just ended up a little too squat for me. I'm just going to make that a little longer. We want him to be elegant, not squat. And obviously, now that I've extended his neck, we're going to disregard the ears and antlers that are on him right there, because that's not where they're going to go anymore. I'm going to put the ears up here. See that charcoal? Once this dries, I can just wipe that charcoal off. Just because it's in charcoal doesn't mean it's set in stone. Doesn't mean you have to follow that exactly. And then we'll put our antlers in. And if you're having a hard time with the antlers, water down your paint. Go. You can add as many points as you want. You could even put an extra point out here. Oop. There we go, we got our deer. Our Patronus. I lost a brush. I know it's somewhere. Oh, there it is. Tip of the day, don't lose your brush. All right, straight white yet again. I still have some of this white left. I am going to add a little bit to it. I probably don't need it, but just a little bit, because it's really drying out a lot. All right, when you do highlights on your trees, which is what this, I mean, this is snow, but it's the same step as doing highlights on trees. You don't want globs of paint on your brush. You just want paint right in the tips of the bristles. So a lot of times what I do, excuse me, is I just brush just a little bit into the ends, and then I brush the excess off. So there's not that much in there. And then you kind of do a test run. Let's see, put a little, move gently with this to start off with, just to make sure you don't get a big blah, because then you have to work with a big glob. Now, depending on how much snow you want, you can really put a lot of it, or if you just want little touches of it, you just put little touches of it. And every time I reload, I'm careful about how much paint I put in the bristles. And I run it until it's just about out. And as I continue on down the tree and I'm running out of paint, you can press a little harder and you can move back up into where you started and blend that out a little bit if you so desire. If you like a bolder look, you don't have to blend it out, but and kind of move it around. And again, we're tapping because we want those individual little, they look like little, branches, leaves, needles. And moving on to the next tree. And if you find you've got a lot of paint on there, don't be afraid to just brush that off or move down. Another thing you can do is just work it out down the tree, and then as the paint works itself out, you can move back up and blend in some of the bigger globs. And we're just going to do all of our little trees here like that. And I'm trying to keep it mostly to the top parts of the branches. I'm not filling the whole branch. You can, for this, just because it's snow and sometimes snow is just all over the tree. But you want to, as you're moving down, focus on the top of the branches. Because if you have the snow just filling all of the branches, you kind of lose all of the darkness in there, all of that contrast that really makes your painting look good. Gotta have some contrast in there. Then we want to add a little bit of snow to our bushes. Add a little more. Why not? Why not? And there you go. You got snowy trees and snowflakes, and like I said, if you've got glitter or something, you want to put them in the snowflakes. Heck, you could put glitter in the trees if you wanted to. I think I did this painting for a class and somebody used a completely different color scheme too. Instead of using the blue, she used brown. So she had a dark brown, and it was really easy. Like as we were working through it, I just told her instead of using blue, you're just going to have the same kinds of shades, but you're going to have brown in it. And she made a gold deer in the middle. It was really neat. So you don't have to stick with the blue. You can pick whatever color scheme you want. The basics of it, it's essentially the same. It's just dark and light. It's not real complicated. So have fun with it. Make sure you like and subscribe so that you can continue to paint along with me, because I do plan on having a lot more videos. So thanks.